back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today, you could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting, there's no appraisal. You know, I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
This is Ace and Friends.
Episode 5 of the Ace and Friends podcast. I am the modern day Mr. Rogers. My name is Ace. I don't use that often enough. I've got to start using it more often if it's going to catch on. Don't sit there and don't smile, Riggins. It's t-shirts that I got a line plan for it here.
Really?
Yeah. Like we'll put my face on Mr. Rogers' body.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, I love that. Like Ace and Friends. Yeah. Can I use it as likeness? Normally we kind of start you off with some things to talk about for the day or whatever, 3 things you need to know, that kind of stuff. But I have an idea that has occurred to me that I will grant you is a bad idea. So let me start with a member of the radio family named Eric, who sent a DM last night, or this morning rather, that said, that clip of Ace and that LSU poem has got to be the funniest thing I have ever heard on this show since I've been listening, and I've been listening for years. That was Wednesday's edition of the Ace and Friends podcast, where I was unable to read the poem about LSU football. Saturday Night in Death Valley is the name of it, because I first became familiarized with it because of a video that LSU did that I probably watch, I don't know, at least once a month. Realistically, several times, almost once every 10 days, probably. I could go, let me check that. I gotta love it. I love it that much. But today, I just read something a little while ago, and I thought, well, that's interesting. I wonder. This could replace that as the funniest thing you've ever seen or heard on anything when it comes to the Ace and TJ show. This is the first week of the Ace and Friends podcast. I mean, I don't want to come out of the gate too hard, but what happens if we blow it out in the first week? We give you the 2 funniest things that ever occur on this show. And it starts with a man named Tom Brady. Yep, that Tom Brady. What is he, 6, 7? How many Super Bowls? 7?
Oh, I don't know. It's a lot.
That he won. I think he won 6. But something recently came out about Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, when he went to the NFL Combine, which is going on right now, and if you don't know, the NFL Combine is where players go and perform different tasks, different skills, different tests to be judged, and it helps them find a spot to be drafted for NFL teams. In 2000, when Tom Brady was at the NFL Combine, he ran the 40-yard dash in 5.28 seconds coming out of college at the University of Michigan. Well, now some 24 years later, at the age of 46, he just ran the 40-yard dash again. He's actually faster now than he was then. He was clocked at 5.18. One stopwatch clocked him at 5.12, but he was clocked at 5.18 seconds.
Whoa.
It's not a barn burner time.
No.
But the fact that he's faster 24 years later than he was the age of 22 is hard to believe.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking. What I'm thinking, coming up next. Hang on.
More Ace and Friends coming up.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now. The memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today, you could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting, there's no appraisal. You know, I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
Ace and Friends.
All right, so Tom Brady ran the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine in 2000 in 5.28 seconds. He's a tenth of a second faster now that he's 46 years old. He just ran it again in 5.18. Now, he's known for, well, and if you've ever seen anything about Tom Brady, one of the pictures that it goes around every year is this picture of Tom Brady in shorts that was taken at the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
It's just him in shorts, shirtless. They do this for every player, and he is not a physical specimen by any stretch of the imagination. He's in much better shape today than he was then. I don't know today that if you see Tom Brady shirtless, I don't think he's shredded or anything like that. He's probably in pretty good shape, but it's shocking that 24 years later he's a tenth faster.
That's crazy.
And I started wondering, Tom Brady's 44, 46. I'm 55. How close could I get to Tom Brady's NFL Combine time? If I ran the 40-yard dash today, right now, on the Ace and Friends podcast, how close could I come to his NFL Combine time of 5.28?
Do you think you can get close to that?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I did a leg workout 2 days ago, my hamstrings are pretty sore.
You're already making excuses. That was quick.
Yeah. I'm not fast. I've never
You're
been
not.
fast. I've never been, even when I was young and skinny and all, I've never been fast.
It's 40 yards.
40 yards. Do you think
5
there's
seconds?
Do you think there's 40 yards in the parking lot out here?
Oh, yeah.
Don't know. I have no idea.
On the side here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You think that's 40 yards?
I would imagine. Oh, yeah. In 5 seconds, there's no way.
No, I wonder if I could break 6 seconds.
I don't think you can break 10.
You don't think I can run the 40-yard dash in 10 seconds?
Dang.
I honestly, I'm basing that on nothing, not having ever seen you run.
Okay, so let's go. Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to do a little stretch.
Okay.
Here's what I think we should do. Rob, you come run the controls.
Okay.
We'll get Riggins on audio. You can you talk to Rob and video it at the same time?
If I got like 2 phones.
Yeah, we figured out. We'll make it work. Okay. Let's go put it to the test.
Okay.
All right, we're going to do this. It's coming up next on the Ace and Friends podcast.
Ace and Friends.
Back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today, you could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting, there's no appraisal. You know, I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
Ace and Friends.
Ace is testing out 40 yards. He thinks he has 40 yards.
Okay, so we've moved outside. First ever time we've been outside on the Ace and Friends podcast. And we have marked off roughly 40 yards here in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so I really haven't stretched. My hammies are hurting because I'm sore. So I'm going to go down there 40 yards away. And then what? You'll just click it off when I take off running?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they're going to time it. The goal is to see if we can, how close I can come to Tom Brady's time in 2000.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, I have this shirt because I'm going to the gym right after here today. So
We're ready.
I wasn't ready for this. Take my jacket, Rob. Okay, here we go.
All right, so Ace is running down to the other end. He's already making excuses. Oh, he's stretching his arms. Do you want me to count you down? All right, in 3, 2, 1. There he goes. Oh, he's running. Oh, look at him. Ace is flying. He's flying. He's flying. And he's grinding. Not. I don't want to give you your number unless you're ready for it. Ace is winded. Ooh.
It's uneven ground. It's uneven. And it pitches off to the right and then picks up speed going downhill. How bad was it? I can do better than that.
All right, there's the number.
10 seconds. 10.81.
10.81.
Okay, never mind. Let's go back. I'm very disappointed in that.
You were pushing hard there at the end, too.
It's going to get, because it's not level ground. It fades off to the right, and then it goes downhill at the end. I got to stop before I hit a dumpster.
Excuses flying.
Well, and I don't know when y'all started the timer. So I feel like I've been cheated a little bit here. Okay. But we're going to take this mobile one day and go to a track or something and try it. The controversy surrounds this. All right, either way, I don't feel good. We'll make you feel better. The good news is next. Hang on.
More Ace and Friends coming up.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
Back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
It is. That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today. You could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting. There's no appraisal. I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
There's a lot of news out there, but Ace and Friends just want to give you the good news.
Today's good news is kind of all over the place. Let's start with a lady in North Carolina who volunteered to be a foster for a local humane society. And she said she'd take pets in. I'll take some pets in temporarily. Yeah, this is what happens to a lot of people. As soon as she stepped foot in the place, she fell in love, walked right back out with a dog named Rookie, who now has his forever home. So she was going to just temporarily take in some dogs here and there, and now she's got a brand new dog. Cops in Florida rescued a missing 5-year-old girl with autism this week. She'd wandered away from her home. They spotted her from the air walking around a swamp. The body cam footage, if you get a chance, go check it out online. The body cam footage is phenomenal. They were great with her. They were excited to see her, and she was very, very happy to see them. So great work by the police there. And a World War II vet in Pennsylvania named Ralph Perkner turned 103 this week, and he credits his longevity to having daughters. He's got 3 of them, and he told a reporter that having 3 daughters always made him, his words, stronger, end quote. That is the good news.
Ace and Friends.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
Back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
It is. That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today. You could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting. There's no appraisal. I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
This is Ace and Friends.
So you've just kind of been keeping up with Vanderpump Rules, right, Riggins?
Yeah.
All right. So this became obviously Scandival,
Yeah.
a big scandal at the end of last year. I have not really watched. I watched a little bit of it the other day with Amanda, and she said it's not that good because they're still trying to find a way to milk it.
Yes.
And there's not much there for them to milk at this point, and they're just that it's just dragging and it's just all not really going anywhere because they're just trying to milk the scandal more, and it seems like it's hurting them more than it's helping them, I would think.
I agree.
But there is something that has come out, kind of one of those things just to be aware of for the weekend. Turns out that Rachel, who used to be called Raquel, this is the woman that Tom Sandoval cheated on Ariana with. She is now suing Tom and Ariana,
Yeah.
claiming that, if I understand this correctly, she claims that he recorded 2 FaceTime videos of her performing for him, for his pleasure, in a solo act, that he recorded them on his phone and showed others. Wait, not that he showed others, that Ariana found them and
Correct.
she showed other people.
Correct.
So she's filed suit, like under a revenge porn type of law.
Yeah.
That's kind of the route that she's taking is that, hey, Ariana's been involved in revenge porn.
Recorded without her knowledge and then spread around.
Spread around to the cast, not to the general public, but that the cast has seen these moments that she did not know were recorded.
Correct.
And she has filed suit against both Tom and Ariana.
Yeah.
And Ariana hates Tom. Tom doesn't like Ariana, but now they may have to join forces to fight this lawsuit.
Yeah, it's ugly.
And I don't know how the revenge porn law works. First, I'm all for that law. I think that's a terrible, terrible, disgusting thing to do, to decide to get back at somebody. So I'm going to put this out here, someone that someone shared with you intimately. But in this case, she said she didn't know she was even recorded.
Yeah.
Much less to know that Ariana was going to find them and go out and share them with people.
Especially other cast members on the show.
Yeah, and then that is also what apparently she believes led to her being punched by Sheena, which split her head open, split her eye open, and she had to get a restraining order and blah, 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 which was all a big part of the reunion last year.
And they never really talked about the details of that incident, and now it's clear kind of why.
Yeah, I don't think they can talk about the
Yeah.
details of that particular incident now. I mean, it's a mess. It's a real mess. Now, I mean, obviously, if you're the people at Bravo, you're like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything to stoke the fire a little bit, but it's not anything that's probably going to be discussed on this edition of the show, because Rachel's not on the show anymore. She's refusing to participate in the show anymore.
Yeah.
And they're not going to openly discuss a lawsuit like that, because they all could be called into court over the whole thing. Mm-hmm. That is wild.
Yeah, it's a mess.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of the revenge porn law. I think it's terrible that somebody would do that just to get back. You cheated on me, you hurt me, whatever. So I'm going to go show the world this thing that you did in an intimate moment just for me. I think that's a horrible thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But there is a lady who found her dream match on Tinder, or so she thought. This is one of the weirdest, funniest stories. Guarantee it's something you'll be able to share this weekend. Coming up next.
Ace and Friends.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies is here. And Richard, not only are you helping people pay off credit cards, you're helping them with home repairs as well.
Oh, that's right. We had one of your listeners called in. She had to get her pool repaired. She had to get a new roof on to even get the loan. And we got that work done before it closed and paid for it with a cash out.
All at one time.
All at one time. Can't
Very
do that
easy.
at a bank.
No, you can't. That's what it's about. Options with the Richard Toccato Companies. Find out more at homewithrichard.com. That's homewithrichard.com. The Richard Toccato Companies. Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now. The memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
Ace and Friends.
Obviously, I'm not out in the dating world, but I see all these types of stories all the time. A lot of women post about how difficult it is to date, how hard it is to find a good guy, how weird things get sometimes. And this is one of those cases where you read a story like this and go, oh, I get it. Mm-hmm. And so, Riggins, explain this. So you found this story and brought it to my attention. So explain how this works.
Girl matches with a guy. It's her dream guy, handsome. Seems like he's got it all together. They've been talking for a while. He says, let's go to dinner. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Price, not an option, not an issue. And she picks a very high-end seafood restaurant. They go, apparently have a great time. The next day, he texts her and says, hey, could you help me out and loan me like $320 because I need to pay off an electricity, get my lights turned back on.
$376.54 is what he's looking for.
$376.54. It shouldn't be a problem because I paid for your seafood boil.
That is literally what he texted her. Hey, we've been talking for a while, and I was wondering if I could get $376.54 to get my lights turned back on. Figured it wouldn't be an issue since I paid for your seafood boil. LOL.
LOL. Right?
What?
Laugh out loud. And she's like, do you ever her response was kind of funny too. She was like, oh yeah, no, good luck with everything. And then she blocked him, which is the appropriate response to that, obviously.
I mean, it's fascinating what some people think is okay and acceptable. Even more fascinating why they think it's okay.
Yeah.
So he thought it was okay to say, hey, I bought your seafood bowl. So you could, this is like, almost like this is the least you could do for me.
Yeah. $375.
You owe me
$75.
I highly doubt that her seafood boil was $376.54.
Not a chance.
Let's say it was $100. That's not even a third.
No.
And it wasn't $100. I'll guarantee you that.
No. So she's like now double devastated because not only is that guy, a weirdo, but she also thought he was like a good dude and like spent all that invested time in talking with him a lot and then finally going out to dinner only to discover shortly after that he is just kind of a scumbag.
He was very handsome, smart, kind, and he seemed very well put together. He had a similar sense of humor. We got along great. The chemistry was there.
Yeah,
I feel like we were even.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
He's like, hey, I borrow $376.54, please.
Get my lights turned back on, which means they were off. Why are you telling her I'm gonna take you out to dinner? Price is no object.
Well, meanwhile, his lights are currently off.
Yeah, it's pitch black.
He had to go get ready at a friend's house.
Coming up on Ace and Friends. Ace and Friends.
The story you'll be talking about the rest of the day. You probably haven't heard of this story yet, but it's a mind blower. Going back to high school and those teachers that went the extra mile to help you learn a lesson. This one just went a little bit too far. Next.
Ace and Friends.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
Our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies is here. And Richard, not only are you helping people pay off credit cards, you're helping them with home repairs as well.
Oh, that's right. We had one of your listeners called in. She had to get her pool repaired. She had to get a new roof on to even get the loan. And we got that work done before it closed and paid for it with the cash out.
All at one time.
All at one time. Can't do that at a bank.
No, you can't. That's what it's about. Options with the Richard Toccato Companies. Find out more at homewithrichard.com. That's homewithrichard.com. The Richard Toccato Companies.
Ace and Friends.
So every day at this time, we give you something that you can share later in the day. Something that makes you either informed or fun. Today, we're going fun. This is just a great story. I mean, it's not a great story, but it's a great story. You know what I mean? It's not good that it happened. Think back to when you were in high school. Great teachers find creative ways, inventive, creative ways to help you understand what's going on, to help you learn. Sometimes bad teachers do that too. There's a high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, who's dealing with a lawsuit after a chemistry teacher thought having actual sword fights was a good idea. Now, this happened in 2022, but the civil suit has just been filed. It's a female chemistry teacher. She was doing a lesson on metal and melding. and brought actual swords to class. One was a thin European-style sword, a rapier, R-A-P-I-E-R. The other was a samurai sword. She had the students rearrange their desks into a fighting ring, started a timer, and the kids battled it out for 2 minutes each with real swords. Predictably, things got a little carried away. A 16-year-old girl ended up with a serious gash on her right wrist and severe multiple nerves and tendons that were damaged. And oh, wait, hang on. Sorry. Shit. I'm going to do that over. Here we go.
Ace and Friends.
This is the story you'll be talking about the rest of the day. Now, we do this every day at this time because we want you to either be A, informed about something really important and topical, or B, just have something fun to share with somebody later tonight. You can go, hey, did you, all weekend now, you can go, hey, did you hear about this thing? I heard about it on the Ace and Friends podcast. Check it out. Today, we're going fun. There's nothing informative about this, but this is a wild story. Great teachers find new and creative ways to help kids learn. All right, we probably all can think of one teacher at least who did this type of thing. But sometimes really bad teachers do it too. A high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico is now dealing with a lawsuit after a chemistry teacher thought that actual sword fights, letting students have sword fights, she thought that was a good idea. This happened in 2022. The civil suit was just filed. That's why we're just now hearing about it. She was doing a lesson on metal and melding, and she brought actual swords to class. One was a thin European-style sword, rapier, R-A-P-I-E-R. The other sword was a samurai sword. So she has the students rearrange their desks into a fighting ring in class, starts a timer, and the students do battle for 2 minutes with real swords. You know why this has turned into a civil suit. You know how this ends. They got a little too into it. A 16-year-old girl ended up with a serious gash on her right wrist. It severed multiple nerves and tendons, and she had to have surgery. According to the lawsuit, the teacher yelled out, quote, "I'm in trouble," end quote, and told everybody to delete the footage from their phones. And no one called 911 for 30 minutes. She got fired 2 months later. The girl's family is seeking an undisclosed sum. I'm in trouble. And then she makes all the kids delete the footage from their phone. Just stunning. They had actual sword fights. You're not any smarter for this story, but that is the story you'll be talking about the rest of the day.
Ace and Friends.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
The Ace and TJ studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
It is. That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today. You could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting. There's no appraisal. You know, I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
Ace and Friends.
So this is episode 5 of the Ace and Friends podcast. If you're listening to it live on the Ace and TJ app, or you've downloaded it Friday afternoon, Friday evening, kind of the first weekend. So I think it's fun on Friday to look ahead to like some things that you need to know about the weekend. For example, like the big movie this weekend is Dune. It's Dune 2, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. No. Tate D. Rob's thinking about going to see it this weekend. Also, I saw on TikTok yesterday, Billy McFarland popped up. He was being interviewed on, I think it was Daniel Tosh's podcast.
Yep.
And he was talking about how much money he still owes, like $26 million from Fire Festival.
Yeah.
Well, and he pointed out he makes payments every month. He owes it's 24 to 26 million that he still owes investors from Fire Festival. And because of the court order, every month he has to write a huge check to these people. But he announced yesterday that the sequel is getting even closer to happening. He says the pre-sales made $110 million. Ticket prices starting at $2,500 a piece, with the highest access level ticket costing more than $1 million. He didn't say how many tickets were sold, only that the next time we hear from him, it'll be after his business partners make their official Fire Festival 2 announcement. The festival is supposed to happen in December in the Caribbean.
He's going to try to sell those tickets by any means necessary. So he's going to do all these shows. He's going to get on the TikToks and talk about it.
Do you think
He hasn't sold any tickets yet. I mean, I guarantee you the numbers are not staggering.
But how did the pre-sales make $110 million? Or do you think he's lying?
I think 100% lying, trying to get hype to actually sell tickets.
Or is it possible that this is very similar to the people who say, well, if that airline just had a crash, I'm flying that airline. There's no way it's going to crash again. Like, there's no way
It's not going to be
he
amazing.
doesn't fulfill every obligation to blow Fire Festival 2 out of the water, make it a massive success.
Yeah.
Like, if you expect first class service, you're going to get above and beyond first class service, because he's got to come back bigger than ever, because he can't have a second disaster.
Yeah.
He literally can't afford it, and he would go back to prison.
Yeah.
So are there people buying in saying, there's no way this thing bombs again?
Yeah,
it's
maybe,
not possible.
Maybe a little morbid curiosity, like it's like seeing a dead body. Like he kind of just, I gotta see this thing.
Like, I know this thing's going to work out this time.
Have they announced any performers or anything like that?
I don't think so.
It's just the idea of Fire Festival.
It's Fire Festival 2, and here are your options.
$1 million ticket. I mean, that's solely to get the story in the press.
Absolutely, 100%.
So I wouldn't put anything past him at this point, because we know what a kind of, I don't want to call him a con man, because that's not a nice thing to do.
But I was blown away when I saw that this morning. They've already made he claims $110 million so far in tickets, and I don't think anybody has a clue who's on the roster to perform at Fire Festival 2.
Would you go to that?
No.
If it was free?
I wouldn't. I don't think I would. For free?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go for free.
You would?
Because I do think that there's no way it bombs again. There's no way it bombs. You'd be able to get in and out this time. It's not my thing, but you probably it couldn't be nearly as bad this time around.
Yeah.
Cat Williams has shown up on another podcast, a big podcast, a huge podcast, and it's getting weird, Mama.
Yeah.
Next, hang on.
Ace and Friends.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
Back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today, you could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting, there's no appraisal. I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
Ace and Friends.
How long ago was it Cat Williams showed up on Club Shay Shay?
Oh, a month ago?
And any idea what the total number of views are so far? Close?
I don't recall.
But at one point, they were over like 15 million in the first weekend or something. It was crazy.
Everybody wanted to
crazy
see it.
numbers. And it's been chopped up and talked about. It's got to be in excess of 30 million views at this point on all the different formats and different places and people. But Cat showed up on the Joe Rogan podcast. Now, is this new?
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay. I thought so, but this one clip looks like it might be a little bit old. I don't know. This is Cat Williams yesterday on the Joe Rogan Experience when it was first.
Everything is a formula. Everything is that way.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, the science and math go together with the occult and alchemy, and all of these things are based on things like even the Smurfs story, right?
The Smurfs are based on something?
Well, religious people would say, "Oh, you can't watch the Smurfs because it's bad because they have witchcraft and stuff in there." But the whole thing is, it's based on this, the homunculus, the idea that you can create a human life form without a mother or a father. So,
Really? That's what the Smurfs are based on?
what two Smurfs do you think got
don't know much
together
about Smurf
and
lore.
had Smurfette? She was the only female of the Smurfs. So,
It's a good question.
well, it's not a question in the Smurfs. They tell you that Gargamel made Smurfette. But, in somebody's history, I don't want to say what race of people or group of people it is, but in somebody's history, there was this homunculus thing.
Like a
And
genetically engineered human?
life form.
Life
yeah.
form.
Mhm.
Creature.
Right.
Whoa.
And so, it's spoken of in history very sparingly.
Oh, I mean, what do you make of that?
Well, okay, in his defense, from what I have heard, I do remember when the Smurfs first hit and became huge. There were kids whose parents wouldn't let them watch it because they said because it had spells and witchcraft in it.
Oh, really?
No differently than a lot of parents wouldn't let their kids watch Wizard of Oz because they were witches and wizards and all that kind of thing. Anything
the
like that, I don't know. I've never heard the word homunculus.
Yeah.
Homunculus.
Is that a character? That's not a character in this. I mean, when he started talking about math is related to the occult, I was like, what is going on?
That's wild.
And the interview's like 4 hours long, and it's like the entire time it's like that.
That's too much for me. I might take it in small doses, but I can't take 4 hours. I can't take an hour straight of that type of stuff.
Yeah, he's talking about like emerald tablets being buried under the paw of the Sphinx, like 3 miles under the ground. I mean, it's like every conspiracy theory all
rolled into
together.
one.
And he loves them all. He believes them all. It's wild.
There is something that Riggins has run across that he shared with me this morning, and I haven't told him this yet, but I got to go, oh, yeah, I get that. I totally understand that. And I don't think he thinks, I think you think it's weird and that not possible. But I kind of get it. Next.
More Ace and Friends coming up.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
The Ace and TJ studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies is here. And Richard, not only are you helping people pay off credit cards, you're helping them with home repairs as well.
Oh, that's right. We had one of your listeners called in. She had to get her pool repaired. She had to get a new roof on to even get the loan. And we got that work done before it closed and paid for it with the cash out.
All at one time.
All at one time. Can't do that at a bank.
No, you can't. That's what it's about. Options with the Richard Toccato Companies. Find out more at homewithrichard.com. That's homewithrichard.com. The Richard Toccato Companies.
This is Ace and Friends.
So Riggins sends me random things that he finds for the Ace and Friends podcast to talk about every morning. And one of them was a dad suffering from postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I get the impression that you think, like, this is stupid.
I never
Kinda
heard of
weird.
that. I never heard of that.
The guy wrote this question. He said, I don't know what to do. My son is 6 weeks now and I feel depressed. Not because of raising a baby is hard. I expected that. I think my wife's PPD, postpartum depression, is rubbing off on me. She's been negative ever since the start. The whole pregnancy, she was negative about everything, always complaining about all that she's giving up to be pregnant or how her body looked. I thought it would be better when the baby was born, but now it's emotional breakdowns and her complaining about not being able to live like we used to live. I've never heard anything positive yet. I feel like her attitude is making me sad at times. And it goes on from there. But I've had 3 kids. I've never really experienced that postpartum depression thing. That's a real thing that women physically experience. But I get what he's saying. If she's not said one positive thing about the experience leading up to or after having the baby, I can easily see where he's like, this is supposed to be an incredibly joyous time. And if all she's doing is, for whatever the reason, if all she's doing is complaining, I hate this, I miss my old life, blah, blah, I can see where that would make him depressed.
Yeah, I can see that. To me, it came off as I'm trying to, because postpartum depression is a real thing for women and it's devastating and all that stuff. It kind of seems like he was trying to take ownership of it when in reality he was just irritated by his wife's attitude.
I think what he's saying is it's the overall malaise, the overall negativity is really rubbing off him and making he's having a very negative experience because she's having a very negative experience.
Sure, and I believe that.
And like he said, she hasn't said anything positive about it since she got pregnant.
Yeah.
Negative about her body, negative about how she feels, negative about what's coming up. They have the baby, then all of which is understandable to a certain extent. But then after you have the baby, you bask in the joy of this beautiful child. And it is hard. It's difficult. It's a lot, especially for the mom whose body has gone through all these changes and is now changing yet again. And you're trying to deal with hormones are crazy and all that kind of stuff. But it's rare, I think, that a mom doesn't find anything positive.
Yeah.
Doesn't talk about the joy of holding that child or look at him smile or look at him laugh or the little things that happen along the way. I can easily see why it takes so long for that to how that would rub off on a guy and bring him down and make him feel depressed. And one guy responded to him and said, dads can experience a kind of PPD, postpartum depression, because your testosterone levels also drop when you have a newborn, which could have an effect on your mood. You're not sleeping as often, and especially if your significant other, if she's always sad and depressed about everything, it's like, oh, God, why are we even doing this?
Yeah.
To be happy, ladies.
That's your advice?
No, it's a tough thing. You know what I mean? But if you stay together and you talk about it with each other and you kind of work together, hopefully she can see that there's a lot of great things happening. This is a really special, exciting time in her life. That's easier said than done because she's going through a lot physically.
Yeah, and if your baby's ugly, you know how much harder it is?
I didn't think he said his baby was ugly, but if your baby's ugly, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Granted, if your baby's ugly, that is a bummer. Oh, speaking of which, I have a really cute baby. That doesn't mean I'm always a good dad. I made an error in judgment yesterday in front of a bunch of people, and it was bad.
Ooh.
Next.
Ace and Friends.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
The Ace and TJ studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Back again with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, tell us about this cash out equity thing, instant cash, add water, and there it is.
That's how it is. Instant equity. I mean, you do the application today, you could close today and get your money in 5 days. There's no underwriting, there's no appraisal. I think didn't you do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what I did. Instant equity. It's very easy, and Richard walks you through the process. Find out more at homewithrichard.com.
This is Ace and Friends.
So I've got a 7-month-old at home. And I hate having to say this all the time, but I feel like the constant need to put this in context in case somebody doesn't know. My wife is much younger than I am. I have 2 kids from a previous marriage. Like my son, Cade, is 21 and a half by now. He's closer to 22, I think, than he is to 21 if I were to do the math. And then I have a 7-month-old at home. So it's a different world now when you have a 7-month-old, and I'm 55. So yesterday, every Thursday, we've been going to swim class, which is good for the baby because we like to be around water. Like my in-laws have a pool, and they teach the baby things like how to flip over on their back or not to be afraid of the water, how to find the side and pull yourself up. So because the vast majority of children, if they fall in a pool, they fall within 1 foot of the side. And they could save themselves in many cases if they knew what to do. So it's kind of like that. So yesterday was the first day that I was in the pool with Dax. And one of the things you do is you go to these different stations. Like at one, they just get used to going under the water. And another one, you push them off the side and catch them, but teach them, hey, try and how their hands to reach for the side of the pool. And another one, they sit there and they take things in and out of a little bucket as they learn to help them understand their balance and all on the edge of a pool. So they kind of get used to what it feels like. Well, I'm in the water. Dax is sitting on the edge. Amanda's seated over there watching about, 15 feet away with other parents and everything. It's the first time I've been in the pool with him. She's taken him 3 times on Thursday. And he's in his little swimsuit. He looks cute as he can possibly be. And I have the bucket with the stuff. And I'm trying to tell him, take this stuff out of this bucket. And so for a brief moment, I took my hand off of his back to grab something out of the bucket to hand to him. And when I did, he leaned back. Luckily, tiny bit of luck, there are tiles that are hard as hell. And then behind that, there's a little drainage thing, this hard rubber mat drainage area.
Yeah.
When he fell over backwards, the back of his head hit that rubber mat. Softer than the tiles, damn near hard as the floor.
Yeah.
And instantly he starts crying. Now, he ain't cried a bit in the 3 previous weeks that he's been there.
No way.
Plus, you know who's sitting 15 feet away.
With other parents.
With other parents. Yeah.
Yikes.
Loser old dad let him fall over and make a mistake.
Yeah.
And boom, he bumped his head.
What did she say? Was she
Not happy.
Oh, really?
Not happy.
Oh, come on.
Not happy.
Oh, come on.
You know. And it didn't help that this little kid was sitting next to her, waiting like a little 5-year-old. So he hit his head hard. He hit his head hard.
No. Hey, shut up,
And I just
kid.
want to turn and go, hey, shut up. Lady, shut your kid up.
Oh, no.
Mommy hit his head hard. Shut up.
That's so bad. That's really bad.
That was
Ace.
really bad. That kid was making it worse.
Oh, obviously.
May have said it 10 times. He hit his head hard. His head hit hard. Shut up.
I never hit my head that hard.
Right.
Oh my God.
Exactly. It's what just short of that, Rob. You might as well have said that. Nobody's ever let me hit my head like that. Thank God, because my head's, I couldn't take it. I have a concussion.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I bet that hurt.
It was brutal. It was just brutal.
Coming up on Ace and Friends. Ace and Friends.
So we got to talk to Rob about what he's doing later today. Because Rob's life is fascinating on so many different levels. Coming up next.
More Ace and Friends coming up.
Our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies is here. And Richard, not only are you helping people pay off credit cards, you're helping them with home repairs as well.
Oh, that's right. We had one of your listeners called in. She had to get her pool repaired. She had to get a new roof on to even get the loan. And we got that work done before it closed and paid for it with the cash out.
All at one time.
All at one time. Can't do that at a bank.
No, you can't. That's what it's about. Options with the Richard Toccato Companies. Find out more at homewithrichard.com. That's homewithrichard.com. The Richard Toccato Companies.
The Ace and TJ Studios are brought to you by Calitrin. Calitrin is America's #1 choice for healthy weight loss. Drug and stimulant free, so it won't interfere with any medications or health conditions. Find out more at acetj.com/weight loss.
Just because it's winter doesn't mean this is any time to stay inside and just let the days go by. AceTJ.com/Gaston has the list of everything you can be doing right now, the memories you can be making with your family in Gaston County. AceTJ.com/Gaston.
Ace and Friends.
So we mentioned earlier, Dune 2 is the big movie out this weekend. There's really, I find it interesting, we're still in those days post-COVID. We get like one big movie.
Yeah.
Like Barbie Oppenheimer is the only time I can think of that there were 2 big movies opening on the same weekend.
Yeah, in 2024, there's been none.
Yeah, so Dune 2 opens today. And Rob, you are, well, you're not sure, but you're thinking about going to see it today.
I'm pretty sure now.
You're going?
I think I'm going to go, yeah.
Okay. So in preparation, You had never seen Dune, so you watched that movie yesterday.
That's correct.
Dune 2 is 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
That is correct.
Okay. Is this one, or was it the first one that had a cliffhanger?
This one has, I think both of them, technically. I know the first one did. But
So
I think
2
the
hours
second
and
one-
45 minutes you're going to watch, knowing that you're going to have to come back and watch the third one in a year to figure out the end of this one.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Well, that's he's used to. All those superhero movies do that.
Yeah.
They give you that post-credit scene where they're like, they tease the next one.
Okay, I'm okay if, I don't know, post-credit seems different to me than I know going in the actual movie itself. It's just going to leave me hanging for another year or so.
Well, I think they're doing this too. They're doing that too. They saw the success of the superhero movies. I think there's a post-credit scene in this one.
Are you going by yourself, Rob, or going with Meredith?
Going by myself.
Okay. So that'll be an afternoon movie?
Yeah.
Do you and Meredith have plans tonight?
No, she's out of town.
Oh, okay.
Again?
She's a jet setter, man.
Yeah, she is.
And you are not.
That is correct.
Are you, what do you have going tonight? Dungeons and Dragons or anything?
No. Just going to the movie, coming home.
Okay. Nice quiet night at home playing video games.
Yep. And then tomorrow I'm playing a card game, but
All day?
yeah, probably.
Damn, but I'm 2 hours and 45 minutes in a theater watching a movie, knowing going in that I'm going to have to come back in a year and watch the next one to figure out what was going on in the one I just watched.
You say a year, but the first one came out in 2021, so that's 3 years.
Okay.
Can't.
It might be, I don't know.
The third part of a sci-fi political thriller. It's like, ugh. Yikes.
You're not wrong.
Those 4 words. Sci-fi political thriller.
In the desert.
In the desert. No, thank you.
Coming up on Ace and Friends. Ace and Friends.
For so long, Swifties were outraged that the NFL followers were outraged about Taylor Swift. Well, now, the Swifties are outraged for one of the dumbest reasons I have ever heard in my life. We may need to start a new segment on Ace and Friends called Check. This is time to check yourself. Because this is it. Coming up next.
Ace and Friends. This is Ace and Friends.
At Ace at Large on social media or at Ace Cannon Media. At Ace Cannon Media on Instagram. If you want to follow along with Ace and Friends, we're posting clips of the show every day if you missed something, that kind of stuff. And we'll be posting more as we kind of get going with the Ace and Friends podcast. I mean, it's just episode 5. We're still sorting it out. And we would love your feedback. You know, at Ace at Large, at Ace Cannon Media, we'd love to hear from you. What you like, what you don't like, any suggestions you may have, share away. But I'm fascinated by this story because it just shows a group of people who cannot put themselves in a position. They're just so caught up in themselves, they can't understand how stupid they're making themselves look. And in this case, stupid and hypocritical. Because so much of the NFL season was about Taylor Swift and the eyeball she was bringing to the NFL. And Swifties, Taylor Swift fans, who we've known for a long time, are rabid. Swifties were upset because a lot of NFL fans were sick of hearing about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They were like, Jay, she's doing great. You leave her alone. She's not hurting anybody. Okay, well, Taylor Swift is currently performing in Australia, doing stadiums in Australia. There is a lady who was filmed by someone in the crowd Shazamming one of the songs at the Taylor Swift show. And they are furious.
Yeah.
The song is called Champagne Problems. And a woman, a short clip of this lady, quote, frantically looking up the song on her phone, end quote, has gone viral on TikTok. And there's a whole section of Swifties who are furious, complaining that a non-diehard fan scored a ticket to the sold-out Eras Show World Tour. Like, how dare she go to see Taylor Swift and not be a hardcore, diehard fan?
There's a lot of Swifties that weren't able to get tickets, and she's taking up a spot that could have gone to a real fan.
It is just one of the dumbest, most petty, unattractive things ever. First off, I don't like people filming other people on their phone at concerts or whatever, or ball games. Like when someone sits behind them and they film them over their shoulder, like some guy's looking at women on his phone, like not taking pictures of women in the audience, but like he's looking up hot women on his, leave that dude alone.
Yeah.
If he's not bothering anybody at the game, leave him alone. Or, hey, if this is your man, he's texted another woman. None of your, just mind your business. But in this case, it's the very thing, so now the hardcore Swifties are mad that somebody who's just a fan got into the show. It's no different than NFL fans being mad because they were sick of hearing about Taylor Swift and the impact she was having on the NFL. You're such hypocrites if you do this. Leave that lady. Plus, that lady's like 50 years old.
She's older.
She's an older lady. Leave her alone.
She should know champagne problems, though. Come on. It's a big one.
She might be there with her kid and be like, hey, I want to look this song up later because I like this particular song.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. It's so dumb.
I get it.
And hypocritical. And it makes you look petty and small.
Yeah.
Then again, you're probably 14.
Yeah.
So that could be the root of the issue. Could be the fact that you're 14. There is something I was reminded of. It happened to Riggins the other day. It reminded me of an incident that I was caught up in once that I don't know if everybody who listens now may know. A little piece of classic Ace and TJ lore from many, 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 many years ago in my life. Next.
More Ace and Friends coming up. Ace and Friends.
Riggins, what day was it you had Jehovah's Witnesses come door to door to your house?
I think Tuesday.
The last person that came to my door like that was a kid in my neighborhood whose football went over into my little back area of my townhouse. And I even told him, hey, man, don't worry about that. You never have to come knock on the door to go back. I appreciate you were very kind to knock. But don't sweat. If your ball goes in there, just go through the gate. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, literally, it's an area about as big as this desk. So, it's, but
You're cool.
It reminded me of, and I think you know this story, Riggins. I don't know if you do, Rob. The time that I came home and
Yes, I do remember.
the door-to-door salesperson was in my house.
The vacuum, right?
Yeah, selling vacuum cleaners.
Yes. It's a good story.
I got home. It was probably 6:45 in the evening. And my ex-wife had let a door-to-door vacuum salesperson in because she felt bad for her. Because the woman had been dropped off in our neighborhood at the house. And she'd gone to the couple of houses, I guess, and she kind of she looked like she needed some help. So I offered her water. And she's not wrong. She did look like she needed help. And my ex-wife did it out of the goodness of her heart. But I come in through the garage. They're standing in our bedroom, which was right off the living room in the garage. And I open the door, and I'm standing in the laundry room, and I look through. I can see into the bedroom, and there's a huge pile of dirt laying on the floor of my bedroom. And I'm like, who is this person in my house? What has she got? Oh, that's a vacuum cleaner. And my ex-wife comes out and she says, this lady's showing me a vacuum cleaner. I said, I gathered that.
Yeah.
It's almost 7:00.
Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly, I know this much. I said, look, I'm not dealing with this. We're not buying a vacuum cleaner. It's just too expensive. Anyway, I'm gonna go put my stuff upstairs in the office. I got a couple things to do. And she's like, you've got a plate in the microwave or whatever. So I came in, I sit down and start eating. And this lady's trying to talk to me about vacuum cleaners. I'm sitting at the kitchen table. I'm like, I'm sorry, we're really not interested in vacuum cleaners. And she said, do you mind if I sit down? I'm waiting on my ride to come get me. I'm sorry, what? She sits down in my chair while I'm eating food for the night and proceeds to fall asleep in my chair. It's like 7:30 at this point. I've probably been home 45 minutes. She falls asleep and slept there for almost an hour. And I don't know what to do because she doesn't have a way to get, she has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's 8:15.
And you just
8:20?
And you just waited.
She's just sitting there sleeping. And I told my ex-wife, I said, hey, all right, we've reached the end point of this little soiree. Time to go. And I that might not have been long. It might have been about 8:00. She might have slept for about 30 minutes. She dozed off in the chair. I was like, all right, it's 8:00. She's out of the house. And I finally told her, I said, hey, look, we got stuff to do. I get up very early, so we're kind of winding down for the night. So I'm going to, I hope your ride comes soon, but I'm going to need you to go ahead and take your stuff, and you're welcome to sit at the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
which she did. Now, shockingly, as soon as she went to the end of the driveway, the car came up and the van came along and picked her up and took her off. So the van was just driving around, dropping people off in different little neighborhoods that were close to each other.
Goodness.
And they were going door to door selling vacuum cleaners.
Oh, that's crazy.
Still didn't make it. She was like, I really need to make a sale.
I bet you do.
Well, you really don't need to make a sale here.
Yeah, we got to get her on the podcast. I would love to check in with her.
That late,
Yeah.
I don't think it could be good. Nothing good can come from that, I don't think.
More Ace and Friends coming up. This is Ace and Friends.
Well, we have reached the end of the first week of the Ace and Friends podcast. And I mean, as we work through everything and kind of get a good system going and all that kind of stuff, because it's a very, our working situation, we won't get into all the details, but it's very unique and weird at the moment. Everybody trying to sort out how all of this stuff works at different times of the day and everything. But thanks for participating. Thanks for checking out the Ace and Friends podcast. We want to hear from you. Let's do this. Highlight of the day for you today, Riggins, would be what?
You thinking that you could run a 40?
Okay, hang on a second. I didn't think I could. I was curious how I could do.
And you were indignant when I said about 10 seconds I thought it would take.
Well, fair. That's fair. I was a little indignant. I was not running on a level surface, and that was difficult.
I understand.
And I had to slow down before the finish line or run into a dumpster
Yeah.
on
Literally.
a downhill slope. Literally, that's true.
Not metaphorically.
Yeah, we may have. I may put this to the test and come back another day. I may get my son to go with me one day. We'll actually go to a track for 40 yards where it's flat and see.
Properly stretch and do it all.
I can probably shave half a second off it.
Does Jenny's Gym have a thing outside you could do it?
No, it doesn't. You know what? It might.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I could do it on the. They have the what do you call it? The turf. I almost called it the tarp. I can't even think now. I'm so tired after running 40 yards earlier. Rob, highlight of the day, highlight of the week.
It's either that or the. I still love the vacuum story. That's one of my favorite.
That's a classic. I mean, there's nothing like walking in and looking down, and there's 2 inches of dirt piled up on the floor in your bedroom, and some lady standing there with a huge hose going, "I want you to pick this right up." Who is this person in my house at 7:00 at night showing off a vacuum cleaner?
Cool.
Yeah, cool. And that would be your highlight of the week, Riggins, would be what?
You crying over the LSU poem.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, that was good.
That's going to make the best of.
Yeah. What did you like this week?
None of it, really.
None of it. All the things involve you being humiliated.
I kind of thought it all sucked, if you're asking me. So we'll try again next week. See you later.
Ace and Friends.